Yo, what's up guys? Nash here coming at you with a brand new video, and today we're talking about how to get your Shopify store to at least $1,000. Let's go. Alright, so before I jump in, 3 quick things. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because why not? It's free. And if you hit the notification bell, you can be notified as soon as I drop the latest video, which is every single day. So if you like that, go ahead and hit the like button. That's all 3. Let's go ahead and jump in. So, what is the fastest way for you to actually get to $1,000? Well, basically there's 3 things. You obviously need traffic, you need a product, you need a website. Those are the 3 things that you need. However, a lot of people talk about them in the wrong order. So I'm going to talk about them in what I believe is the right order, and the order that if you use is the fastest way to get to $1,000, because when I personally implemented them, it took me about a week and a half to get the current store that I'm using. This was back in September. Get the current store to over $1,000. Now I can easily do that within like a few days, be able to get it over $1,000. But these are the exact tactics that I use. So number 1 is, contrary to popular belief, is that you need traffic. If you don't have traffic, if you don't know who your traffic is, then you may as well quit, because you can have a product, you can have a website, you can have all that stuff, but if no one's actually buying, then it's all kind of just pointless. So you can get your traffic from a bunch of different sources. You know, Facebook, there's Instagram, there's Google, Bing, all these different places. But in my opinion, and the fastest and easiest way to get to $1,000 is to actually use Instagram influencers, which, if you don't know already, let me see if I can spell this right. If you don't know already, basically they're large pages on Instagram, and I would generally recommend using not like personal or celebrity pages, but more like fan pages or feature pages, stuff like that. But they're essentially just large pages on Instagram that you can reach out to, contact, and see if you can post an ad on their page for a certain amount of money, which is usually quite a bit cheaper than any other advertising method out there. So the reason that you're going to go with Instagram influencers and actually figure out your traffic and contact these people beforehand is because they're going to tell you your niche, they're going to tell you who your market is, they're going to tell you who your product is, or what your product is, I should say, and also lastly and most importantly, how to market it. Okay, let me go over these 4 things and kind of tell you how it works. So Instagram influencers, once you find them, you're going to figure out what your niche is. How do you do that? Basically, you reach out to pages that have a large following in a certain niche. How do you know that where to even start? Basically, what's popular on Instagram? These are things like fitness, things like dogs, cats, veganism, like all these different things that are very popular on Instagram that people post about on a daily basis for a reason, because there's money to be made. Those are the niches that you want to get into if you want to get to $1,000 very quickly. Could you reach out to smaller niches? Sure. There's not as much competition. Yeah, but there's also not as much money to be made, and you're going to have a tougher time getting to the $1,000 mark. So figure out what's popular on Instagram. From there, that's going to actually tell you who your market is, aka who you're selling to. That's extremely valuable information, because if you don't know who you're marketing to, then it's extremely difficult to make a sale because you can't relate to them, which is what business is all about. You have to be able to relate to the customer and be able to provide a need for them. But if you don't know what that need is, because you don't know who the market is, then it just makes it very difficult to make sales. Thirdly, it's going to actually tell you what your product is. How so? Basically, when you start finding your niche, basically find a bunch of influencers within that niche. So like say it's cats or whatever, just as a general example, you're going to look at all these different cat pages, and you're going to start to see a certain product that's coming up over and over again on all these pages. And that, if you start seeing a product like 3, 5, 6, 7 times, that's going to tell you that product is actually probably making money and is probably successful, because people aren't going to be posting about it if it's not successful and it's not making money, because they're not just going to waste money, right? So from there, you'll actually be able to know what the product that you should sell is, because dropshipping is not about reinventing the wheel, guys. You don't need to go out and figure out the next greatest, latest, whatever thing, okay? It's about finding trends, about finding what's working and jumping on that trend before it's too late, and then jumping off and finding another trend before it's too late. That's pretty much the entire model for dropshipping. So figure out what's working and basically like copy it and make it better, make it your own. So lastly, it's going to tell you how to market, because what you'll be able to do is actually look at not only the products that are being sold, but actually the ads that are being sold to these pages, look at the captions, look at the photos that are being used, see how the engagement is, see how people are responding to it, and that'll tell you exactly how you should market your product as well, to kind of get the best results. So that's exactly why I pick the Instagram influencers first. It's incredibly valuable to do that before you do anything else. Okay. Secondly, the rest of the work is actually mostly done, but the second thing you need is a product, which we already found here by using the Instagram influencer technique. So from there, all you have to do is find the product on AliExpress, which is a site that I use. If you don't know what it is, basically it's like Amazon for Chinese manufacturers. You can buy things very cheap and then resell them on your site. So find the product on AliExpress and import onto your website. Okay, guys, literally that's all the product research you have to do. So how do you actually find the product? A lot of times all you have to do is, like, say it's like a dog necklace or something, literally just type in like dog necklace on AliExpress and sort by orders, and you'll find it near the top of the list, if not the top of the list. Same thing for anything. Or what you can do is actually go onto the competitor's website and just right click on it. You're gonna have to do this on the desktop, but if you right click on it, a lot of times it'll show like search Google by image or something like that, and you can search Google for it and it'll actually come up with some AliExpress listings, and you can go from there. But literally, guys, that's all I do for product research. Okay, and number 3 is you're going to have a vehicle in order to actually sell this. So this is going to be your website. So notice that I don't talk about your website at all until you have your traffic and you have your product. Because if you have a website, especially if you're starting with a free trial, which if you don't already have the free trial, I actually have a link to it in the description below that you can check out. If you use that link, it actually helps me out a little bit. I get a small commission, but it doesn't affect you at all. It's still a free trial for you. It just helps me out a little bit. So if you want, again, the free trial is in the description below. You can check it out. But basically, I don't talk about the website because especially if you're on a shoestring budget and you don't have a lot to start out with, why would you want to waste days of your free trial just like doing stuff that doesn't work? Because that's not getting you to your goal of $1,000, which is ultimately what we're trying to do. So your website, start the free trial, and base your designs off the competition. Okay. What do I mean by this? Basically, now that you know your traffic, you know your product, you know how to market it, all you have to do is figure out how the competition's websites are looking, what they're looking like, and you can literally just base your website off of that. Don't just straight up copy it, but base the ideas and marketing and product descriptions, all that kind of stuff off of the website that you see. And you can do that, again, by just looking at the influencers and seeing what's working. Okay? So base your design off the competition. In my opinion, you shouldn't spend more than 3 to 5 days on your website design, okay? Because think about this, if you have a 14-day free trial and you're spending, a week and a half trying to design your website, you're down to like 3-4 days that you can use to market before you're gonna have to start paying that $29 a month. So ideally, if you can spend like 3 to 5 or even less, like now I can start cranking out websites within like a day and a half, 2 days, and then get it profitable like the next day, making at least $100 a day. But so I would not recommend spending more than like 3 to 5 days. And again, if you're basing your design off the competition, you should already have most of your ideas set. So you're not being like super creative. You're just like sort of copying and making it a little bit better, more unique, more yours. So that's essentially the idea with the website. And then lastly is to import 5 to 10 similar products to the website, okay? And we're gonna do this the same way through AliExpress, which if you don't know how to do, I do have other videos that have to do with how to import them, so you can check that out. But import 5 to 10 similar products, and we're basically going to just use these as upsells so that you can sell more. Because the day when I did $1,000 within when I made my first 1,000 essentially on the website, is the first few days I was making like $50, $75 or whatever. But then the day that I really when it started to click, I actually made like 625 or something similar to that, something like ridiculous, right? Never been able to do that in my life. So the reason I was able to do that though is through product upsells. I made one sale that was over, I think it was actually $325. It was insane. I haven't been able to replicate that since. It's very rare, so it's not like something that happens a lot, but you know, it was all due to being able to sell similar products, okay? Don't just import random products, but, you know, similar products that people would actually be interested in. So this is essentially the blueprint that I used in order to get to the $1,000. Now, if you want to scale past that, you can do things like email marketing, things like product bundles, upsells, Facebook retargeting, all kinds of different things that you can do, that you can look into actually, and some of these things I actually have videos on my channel that you can check out. But these are all things that basically increase your average order value, so you're going to be able to make more money per sale. So, you know, obviously that helps you make more money, you know, depending on how many visitors you're sending. And then also, you know, you can just scale by running more influencer ads. So instead of 1 a day, now you're running like 3 a day or 5 a day. You know, there's days, I think the most I've run in a day is like 7. So, you know, that's a lot of ads to run. That's a lot of money to spend on ads, but you're making back the ROI, so it doesn't matter that you're spending $150, $200 on ads a day. So basically, guys, this is the blueprint that I would use if you want to get to $1,000 as quick as possible. Figure out your traffic, figure out your market and product from that traffic, and then just build off of it. And don't try and reinvent the wheel. Just figure out what's working and then grind it until you get to $1,000. Which, if you follow this blueprint and you actually put in the work, I think you could easily get to $1,000 within like 2-3 weeks. No problem, starting from scratch. So if this was helpful for you guys at all, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It would mean a lot to me. Also hit the notification bell as well, so you can be notified as soon as the next video drops, which is every single day. So why would you not want to be notified? Lastly, leave me a like and a comment as well. Let me know what's standing in the way of you getting to this $1,000 mark. Because I honestly think, like I said, you could get to it within like 2 to 3 weeks if you really put in the work and follow what I'm talking about here, as well as other videos that are on my channel. So if there's something standing in the way, let me know in the comments below. And also, if you have something more, more specific that you want to ask me through my DMs, go ahead and hit me up on Instagram at @NashHagen. And I usually like to respond within a few hours. So hopefully this was helpful for you guys again, and I will see you guys tomorrow.
I need you in the morning. Ooh.